What's up, guys? Welcome back to Range Logic. Today we got a really special video. My brother's here from out of town on vacation. We're going to go through some parts of his collection. So without further ado, here's my brother Steve. What do you got for us today?
Howdy, I'm Steven. This is one of my favorite pieces from my collection, H&K P7. And I'm very happy to introduce it to you all today, and we can get into some of the specs and what makes it so special. I'll go ahead and show clear. One of the things that makes this weapon so unique is the fact that the grip has a squeeze cocking function. This weapon, when carried normally, would have a round in the chamber and loaded, but the firing pin is at rest. The trigger is completely dead, and then when you were to squeeze the grip of the weapon, it will cock the firearm. And you see on the back that the striker is now protruding. This now allows the weapon to fire. It is very similar to a single action weapon, similar to a 1911. When this came out in 87, this particular model was made in 87, but in the early 80s when they're developing this weapon, this was revolutionary at the time. It allowed pistols to be a lot more compact and concealable in a safer function compared to what was current for the market of the day, which was a manual safety firearm. This also allowed for a lot quicker deployment of the weapon in a self-defense scenario. This was used by German police for many years until it was replaced later by the Glock. The other unique function of this weapon is the fact that it has a gas-delayed blowback system. This gas delay system has a piston right underneath this dust cover. This piston will take some of the gas from the barrel and it will hold the slide locked until some of that gas dissipates. Once that gas dissipates, the slide will then function like normally. In addition to that, you'll notice that the slide is completely slick with no buttons other than the takedown button. This allows for, on an empty magazine, the slide will be held open. When you insert your fresh magazine and you put it in, you simply squeeze the weapon and it'll have an automatic slide release. Let's go ahead, get some rounds down range.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and give this a try. This is my first time shooting this pistol. So we're gonna hit that slide release and just squeeze, and now we're ready to go.
How do you like it? So I brought you all back in from outside, out at the range. I just wanted to go over some of the internals on the P7 because it's truly a remarkable firearm and it's kind of hard to display that when we're out there just taking some shots with it. So I got it fully disassembled. This is just the recoil spring. We can remove that. Starting with the slide, you may notice that it's very similar to modern day firearm slides, especially when you look at the internals up here. It's very similar to a Glock. However, the actual firing or striker pin and the sear is all the way up in there. And it's on the left side of this slide. Also, additionally, down at the bottom where you'd usually see the recoil spring, this is where we have the gas block. And this, when it recoils, there is a gas, the port is right down there, right below the barrel. And as this slides in there, the gas will pour it out of the barrel, will hold this plug forward. It'll hold the slide forward, so the slide stays locked. And then once gas has dissipated, the slide will move rearward. And as it moves rearward, the gas will be ejected from the firearm. It's really quite an ingenious way that works, as it leads to being able to have a fixed barrel and not have to have a very heavy or large slide on something similar with a fixed barrel would be something like a PPK or a Makarov. The Makarovs have fixed barrel as well, but their slides have to be a lot heavier. Now, the real meat and potatoes of this is what's inside of the side panels. When we remove the side panels, you can see here, you got a lot of cams and levers. Now, it looks complex, but I'm gonna go over this real quick so you can kind of see how it operates and what all these cams and levers do. Fortunately, the way they designed it, you can operate this without the side panels, without worrying about a spring to pop out or anything like that. So first things first, when you load your weapon, you rack around in the chamber, everything's at rest. Nothing moves down here. All this stays the same. You simply just rack your slide. The firing pin is at rest. Nothing moves. Now, when you go to squeeze the grip on the firearm, you'll notice that this entire cam arm and this right here is the disconnect for the sear. This all moves back as a one piece. So you'll see again, when I go to slide it back, it all moves back. Now, as that moves back, this part right here will pull back on the firing pin. Very similar to how a Glock works or any other striker fired firearm. Now, in order to get this part to go down, to release the firing pin, when you pull the trigger, it'll pull up on this lever, on the disconnect lever. So you can see here, right here, it will pull up on the disconnect lever. As it pulls up, it'll pull the sear down so the firing pin will be released forward. And we can see that in action here. Now, once that happens, the bullet will fire, the slide will be held forward in a locked position with the gas. As the gas dissipates out the front port, the slide will move back. As the slide moves back, it will rub against this bolt right here, this nub, and that will push down on the trigger, resetting the trigger. So I can do that now. And now the trigger's reset. With the trigger reset, the sear will be back up in place, holding the firing pin back. And then as you release the trigger, it'll drop down again, and then you'll be able to pull the trigger again for your follow-up shots. It's quite a unique design in regards to this side of the firearm. The right side of the firearm is all for that trigger and sear and the disconnect. It's all on this side of the firearm, including the reset, which is quite a unique design. Now, when we flip it over to the other side, we have more cams and levers, and it makes it look even more complex. Right here, you have a cam here, which is the noise that makes that click whenever you pull the grip back and you cock your weapon as you squeeze it. Now, the reason that's there is this hook is what will hold the slide open or close the slide lock. So we have right here, this is the slide lock on last round hold open. So as the magazine follower pushes up on it, when you go to squeeze in, it will push down on this cam, which will then pull this lever down, which is quite impressive how this entire system operates. But with that, we'll go ahead and go back outside and we'll finish up with our final thoughts. But I just want to bring you all in here so you can kind of see the meat and potatoes inside this weapon.
All right, so that's a quick little video of the HKP7. A couple things I wanted to go through real quick before I turn it over to Steven here. The cocker here makes this trigger super smooth. When you were shooting it, it's so soft and extremely accurate. Recoil is manageable. I will say the gun gets pretty hot. We put a handful of magazines through it, and it is piping hot right now. Being all metal, it's a little uncomfortable. But Steven, you know a little bit more about it.
Well, and it getting hot was one of the downsides. And in the later versions, this is the PSP model, which is the first rendition. They have later models for the M13, which I believe is the newest version. That one has a heat shield to protect some of that heat dissipation from your trigger guard area. And it also has some of the newer models have double stack mags. One of the downsides when it first came out, single stack mags at the time wasn't a downside, but quickly became one after the Beretta and Glock were both developed shortly after. Double stack mags became the standard.
It is pretty thick for only being a single stack. Like the grips on it, it's a full size grip.
It is a full size grip, but it just makes it that much more comfortable to draw and present. With the full-size grip, this was used with the police force. The only difference between this and the police-issued ones, and in fact, this was a police-issue one in Austria. The other police-issue ones, they had a 1 inch longer barrel. So that was the only difference between the compact and full-size. It also still has the old-school tail release, tail mag release, which is anybody that shoots older pistols will be very familiar with that location.
They got the Ruger Mark 22. The 22 pistol has that.
Exactly. It was very popular in Europe, in semi-autos in Europe. But with that, the HKP7, this particular one, like I said, this was imported from Austria. It was used by police over there. So it's a very limited weapon, and I don't try to shoot it often, but I do love shooting it, and I love bringing it out and showing it off when I can. I definitely don't want it to be a safe toy or a safe queen. I want to use it, but I also don't want to damage it. Barrels are super difficult to find. There is a few companies that make modern versions of these, and if you are interested in getting any of those types of weapons, or you're interested in the history of the P7, it is a highly recommended weapon. There is little to no downsides on the modern versions with double stack ammunition capacity and a heat shield for the heat dissipation. Both of those things kind of fix the two downsides of the original. And
is it easier to get parts for the new ones?
The new ones, yes, they're fully made in-house. There's US companies that make modern P7s, and they're quite expensive, but if you want that squeeze cocking function, you can't beat it. And we all know with the way weapon safeties are these days, it's nice having a reliable weapon that is uncocked inside your pants when you're carrying a weapon, instead of something that might be live and you have to rely on a manufacturer's safeties. A weapon like this, you don't have to rely on anybody but your own grip.
All right, guys, so that's the video for the HKP7. Definitely an intriguing weapon, something to look up and do some research on if you guys are interested. Thank you guys so much for swinging by. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm not gonna throw this guy. What's up, guys? Welcome back. What did you do? It's a great gun, and thanks for giving it to me.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to show it off.
Oh, I thought you were giving it to me.
No. Never.
Super smooth. Once you hit this, the decocker. It's not a decocker.
It's a cocker.
It's a cocker.
Yeah.
Cock it.
With that, I'd like to get some lead down range, and we can see how it works. Ears. And then you would squeeze the grip on the pistol, on the grip.
Squeeze your, oh, God damn it. All right, back it up. Hit it again.